This video has long been due. We've got TK Kader, the info king in the SaaS space, one of the first guys who has ever run it up with personal brand and helping others out with SaaS and running up the info side of things in this niche. And I haven't seen too many people actually crush it, and certainly not like him. So we're going to be covering how he has been able to build up an offer that he charges $99,000 for. He's got a several stack of offers. We're going to be looking at every one of them, what he charges, his funnel, what the offer stack looks like, how his content system works, and basically how he's able to do hundreds of thousands of dollars per month leveraging info products in the SaaS niche. So let's get straight into it. TK Kader, for those of you who don't know, is one of the OGs in the space when it comes to software as a service. He was, from what I know, one of the first guys to ever post about 5 years ago content about launching and scaling SaaS. And over time, obviously, he's been able to crush now on YouTube 80,000 subscribers. He's got a following on Instagram and Twitter as well. We're going to be looking at that. But he's been able to come up with his package, his knowledge, and help other SaaS entrepreneurs, indie hackers, as you may want to call them, and come up with free offers. He's got his launch program, which is for beginners. It's essentially a course that also comes with just one monthly group coaching call, where he also allows one-to-one time with his hot seats, which is quite an interesting feature that we're going to be covering in a second, on how he allows one-on-ones in the group coachings. And he charges $2,400 for that offer per year, which is also something I haven't seen with other info offers. But he's been able to take the SaaS world, the info world, and combine them and find a system where he can try to push for this type of billing. So it's quite interesting to see. He also has his middle tier program, which is his GDM go-to-market program. Now, this one is priced at $8,000 plus. I don't know for this one the exact pricing. It's a book a call system where to know the pricing, you got to go for the sales call. But based on its qualification questions and the other two offers, it's safe to assume that this is going to be priced between $8,000 to $12,000. And he offers a hybrid between, he packages what he's got with course material, additional frameworks that he doesn't provide in the launch program, and he packages also with weekly group coaching calls, and he gives his students 4 one-on-ones, strategic calls with him in a year time frame. All of these are built and structured in a way so that he bills on a yearly basis, but obviously people can opt out, and I can imagine that's most likely what happens, but it's interesting to see the system regardless. Dennis got his SaaS Scale program. Now this one here is his most premium program that he charges $99,000 for, as you're going to see in a second. He's got a quarterly option that he charges $29,000 for the people that want to get on that 3-month sprinter. And it's essentially a one-on-one mentorship where he comes as a board of directors, so he frames it, to help. These are more established players, right? High caliber startups or people that have a software that's already doing several hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in annual recurring revenue. So yeah, that's his offer stack. Now, in terms of the way he sells these and his funnels, for all of them, he offers a landing page format similar to what we see in the info space with VSLs. Just he has a bit more info on these pages as we're gonna cover. So let's dive into the SaaS launch program, his entry model. Basically, this is his landing page right here. It's similar to his middle program, right? And he speaks about what the program is, what you get, right? Who it is for, the things that you're gonna be covering, who TK Kader is, and here he he essentially outlines what people get. It matches his branding. And for the people that are qualified, they then click on getting into the application form, and this is what they see, right? The application form, which I believe is done on ClickFunnels, and he has an interesting setting where basically you have to fill out information about yourself to get to the very end and then put in your payment details to sign up, which we're going to see. So basically on the left side, which I find that very effective, he essentially says how the application form is going to work, what people can expect, right? Just to make sure people are not lost in the funnel. And he asks questions that we usually do in the sales calls, right? To understand, where the prospect currently is, what prompted them to get into the program, where they want to get to, what this will mean to them if they can hit the results, how much of a priority to make a change it is. Again, all of the details that one wants to know to see if a person is a good fit and ready to take action. This is the questions he asks. And then at the very end, when you get to the last step, you're asked to put in your details, which is really interesting. Again, he implements systems from the SaaS world, which are different to how traditionally people are crushing it in the info world. But for his target audience, this seems to work, right? And he basically asks people to put in their payment info, and he will then review. He will not charge them. He will then review the application, and if they're a good fit, he will then enroll them onto the program. Now he does this for two main reasons, right? He wanted to find a way to automate the system so that he doesn't have to sell it on a call, because even though it's a course format with that monthly group coaching call, right? It's still, in the end of the day, his lowest tier product, and it's still being charged for a price point that other entrepreneurs or info owners, might consider a reasonably high ticket price product. It's $2,400 a year. But he does it so that, no one has to take these calls, and he can enroll these people who want to launch their businesses in instantly. And he, of course, provides some testimonials on the checkout page, which improves the trust that he can build with people to then also input their payment information. But that's his system. Now, what I also really liked about the landing page is that at the very button before you click on the application form, he has a section where he calls out the direct ICP for his middle go-to-market program and his one-on-one mentorship. And for people who that section speaks out to, they can then click on a link which redirects them onto the other funnels in case, again, a person qualifies for the other programs. Now, his middle program, the go-to-market program that he charges $8,000 for, a very similar funnel as you can see to the other one. He speaks about the program, what do you get, who it is for, what comes in. Obviously, the added value stack here with the weekly calls and the one-on-one calls that you can have specifically with TK makes a big difference and allows him to charge these amounts. Now, this one here, as soon as you click on the application form, goes through a calendar booking, right? The whole goal is to get someone to be booked in, to then speak to a sales rep, to then get enrolled in. And for those of you who are implementing the system, obviously having limited day availability to when you can book yourself in, up to 5 days or less, is going to increase conversion rates. You definitely don't want to have a full calendar. So he's nailed that. He also speaks about how you can finalize this call, who it is for, what happens when you do get booked in and when you do get enrolled, and what you can expect on the call. So it's perfect. Now, the qualification questions he's put them up in a way to very quickly understand before taking the call if the person is maybe a better fit for the launch program, for the one-on-ones, for his most premium program, or for the actual go-to-market program. He asks people, how are you funded? Have you raised money, right? Are you bootstrapped and profitable? Not just bootstrapped, because the chances are if you're not profitable and you just started launching your business, this ticket for this program is probably overpriced and you should go for the launch option. And he asks people where they're currently at, where they want to get to in terms of their annual recurring revenue, and what's their biggest bottleneck. At the end, he also asks people how much they're willing to invest into themselves, and the lowest option is between 5 to 10K, and the other options go up to 25K plus. So it can easily be that he charges $12,000 or more for this program, but it's safe to assume it's going to be $8,000 or more. Now, once you book yourself in, you get to this call here, right? This is what typically a lot of other funnels have in place. Once you book yourself in, a page, right, where he speaks about, essentially letting the prospect know you've done a great job for booking yourself in. And then this video here usually is a video of the last 1 to 3 minutes where the creator frames and tells the prospect what they can expect on the call, right? And provides them with testimonials underneath like he's doing here. But TK Kader took a different approach where he has a video that lasts 20 minutes and he speaks about if the program is a right fit for the person, if they get access directly to him, just to clarify that, what they can expect. Essentially a system, he does all of the selling here to handle any objections the person may have, right? Like if they still get a chance to work with TK Kader himself, if this is the right fit, and basically weeds out any people for whom this program is not for, and reinforces the want to get into this program if this is the right person, which is very interesting. Now, obviously his go-to-market program stands for GDM, right? And in the video, he clarifies exactly the pillars of what he's going to be covering, like on this slide here. And he goes from setting the foundations of your ICP to the messaging to then the marketing channels, right? So it gives the person, by the end of it, a good idea of what the program is going to be, so that the selling is almost basically done if you're a good fit on the call. He also covers the hot seats, which I wanted to show you, something different to what other players are doing in the field. Essentially, it's a type form that he sends out on these group coaching calls, whether it's the monthly one that happens in the lowest tier program or the weekly one in here. And the prospect can then put in what they want to get covered on the call, but also what their particular issue is. And then they can get assigned a certain spot for a certain amount of time in that group call, right? That may last 90 minutes. They may get 2 to 5 minutes where their particular problem is solved by TK Kader and they speak directly to him in an organized way, to which people can feel that they still get that one-on-one factor, right? And so that is a system that's very interesting to see. Now, that being said, we've got his scale program, his most expensive ticket that he sells for $99,000 per year or $29,000 per quarter. He's got a landing page format for this as well, different to the other ones in terms of the theme, right? He tries to keep this just more simple, but with a similar structure in terms of what this does, who it is exactly for, what you get, and a section that I found really effective in this part here that I suggest others to implement is this section here where he says the investment and your ROI of getting his particular proximity and expertise to come and help you out in your business. And he basically frames it in a way that it's a no-brainer offer to get signed up and pay those $99,000 a year. The way he does it is, he's got his 3 sections here. He says, 1, hiring the wrong person, right, as an executive, which in the US can cost you easily $400,000 a year, but he puts it in here as $150,000 in salary alone, can already lead to costly errors. And so he frames it in a way that his $99,000 is below that and can help him out with that section, easily to justify, right? His second one is the fact that if the company, and I mean, it is also targeted at high caliber people who are already doing very high numbers of annual recurring revenue. If, for example, it's doing 5 million and you can only increase the growth by 10%, that already is an additional $500,000 in revenue that he's going to directly help with this 1-year program, which again, makes it a no-brainer, because one thing is I'm going to invest $99,000, but if you can only increase my rate by 10%, my growth rate, I'm already going to be up $400,000 in a profit. And the third one is the multipliers with SaaS and their exits. SaaSs are very lucrative when you exit them because of the high multiples and the recurring revenue that you can get. So he puts a point out where he says, if I can only help your multiple increase from 7x to 8x, right, on such a business, he can help you do an additional $3 million in profit for one that's currently at 5 million ARR. And that, again, all to say, makes it a no-brainer offer to the person. And it's also interesting because he lies out the pricing straight up so that people know what to expect, and that this is definitely not a cheap option. And also has the redirect links to his go-to-market program in case the person is unqualified. He can get redirected onto the other funnel. So once you click on the application page, it's very similar to the other ones, right? He's got a different text here with how the application works and qualification questions, even though they're very similar in terms of finding where the prospect is, where they want to get to, what are the biggest problems, why do they want to get signed up in the first place, right? And it gives them all of the information to know where they're currently at, where they want to get to. And at the very end, what surprised me is he hits him up with a checkout badge for the $99,000 or the $29,000 per quarter. Now he says again, like in the launch program, that the people won't be charged and that he's going to review the application, and then if qualified, he will enroll them, charge the billing, get them enrolled, quick. This is the only feedback I have with regards to comparing these free checkout features. You definitely want to have a sales call, calendar booking in here just because of the ticket, right? Obviously, all of these questions you want to have in place to qualify the prospect, but then you want to cover these again on the call and speak directly to a person, because a person who's going to be paying $99,000 or $29,000 for any program wants to have communication with someone who can let them know what they can expect, right? And that's going to add a lot of friction if you don't have that in place. So he definitely should consider having a book to call CDA here and a calendar option. But it's interesting to see how he's been able to format it in that way, right? What I also came to notice is he got these videos here that every checkout section at every different stage is a different video. I would just keep one video the same for all three funnels, for all three stages of the checkout section. And that's just to not lose people while they're filling out the application, right? They may click on one video, get lost, and then opt out. So you're losing a lot of people in the funnel there. And you want to have a video that, again, reinforces the testimonials, what this program is about, how he's going to be able to help them with their particular needs, and not keep it too long as well. But after the checkout section here, he fills them with testimonials, which he absolutely crushed. He's got 50 videos. I didn't include all of the screenshots, but he's got 50 testimonials on people who signed up for his higher end products. And again, pure social proof value. This is what also makes him stand out to other entrepreneurs, that he's got his own branding and feel like ClickFunnels does to the entrepreneurs who are crushing it in SaaS, where he gives them out trophies and makes them feel part of a community, not like everyone else, but as a family, so to say. So that's definitely very effective and interesting to see how he's been able to pull that off over the years. So that's his offer stack. Now, in terms of the traffic, how is he able to convert people and get people to sign up for his launch program, to pay $99,000 in a year? Again, it's simple. YouTube is his ecosystem. He's been on it for 5 years, one of the first guys to ever get started, and this is what he currently focuses on, right? To put out content. He's big on Twitter as well. I mean, he's got 14,000 followers. On Instagram, he's got 13,000. It's important to know that his Instagram, it's his personal page, right? He doesn't do any promoting on there, any selling on the product, and that's very interesting to see. So that's the first thing to know. Instagram is not being capitalized on. He just keeps it private. His Twitter account got 14,000 followers. He puts posts out every single day, but they don't seem to get a lot of traction, visibility. It seems that he has a software that automates, right, and puts out tweets based on the content that he puts out in his videos, so that he can just be active. What's interesting to note is that he doesn't do a lot of active selling on there, or get a lot of traction, so to say. But a lot of indiepreneurs, SaaS entrepreneurs in this niche, their biggest social platform that they're big on is X, right? This is because they're big on building in public, and it's a very effective way of getting people to resonate with you, with what you've been able to achieve, and grow your following. And usually they're always the biggest on Twitter, at least for the SaaS world, and then slowly they diverse into other platforms like YouTube. Now, for him, it's not the case, right? He doesn't get too much visibility, so there's a lot of growth room for this particular section on here on Twitter to crush it with. But interestingly enough, he only does it with YouTube. He's got 82,000 subscribers. He puts out one video every single week, as you can see here. Let's go. And all of his videos over the last 5 years have been almost the same. They're long form content where he hops on a camera, like here, speaks directly to the audience member on a particular problem and walks them through on how to solve it. You see they range from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And again, they don't get too many views for the amount of subscribers he gets, or at least compared to other people who make these SaaS videos when you type SaaS onto the YouTube search bar. But he speaks directly out to his ICP and helps him with a problem, which then gets people to look into the description and book themselves in for the program that they're suitable for. Now in the descriptions, you can see they're always the same for every video. He links his go-to-market, his middle tier program, always first. That's probably the one that he makes the most money on and has the most volume, right? Obviously his scale program is just going to be for the 0.1% of people, the high caliber people. And his launch program also helps get people who are just new to the SaaS world and want to scale their businesses. But the one that's doing the killing is his middle tier go-to-market program. He links it to them. Obviously, he still links his other two programs as well, just way underneath. And what's interesting to note is one has got a lead magnet that we're going to look at now in a second. That is also big, that he always refers to on his Twitter as well, and is on his website too. And he's got this section here, which I recommend others to do as well. Share this video with a friend, and it essentially creates the system where people watch him, right? They resonate with his content, and obviously other entrepreneurs in the SaaS world will have other friends in this world as well. So they then send other people through word of mouth to his system, to his content flywheel here, and eventually they then resonate with him and convert in his landing pages, whether it's for his launch program, his go-to-market, or his higher end. So that's interesting to see. Now his lead magnet, he mentions in every single video, right? And the way it works is a landing page as well, where you get your own PDF guide on how you can improve, you can grow with your SaaS. The way you get it, typical, right? You put in your name, email, and then you also specify at which stage you're currently at. You can select from, being bootstrapped, having just started, already making some monthly recurring revenue. You're already doing more than $1 million in annual recurring revenue. And it allows TK Kader and his team to quickly understand at which stage this SaaS entrepreneur currently is at, to then reach out to him, right, in the email list and put him into different email sequences and parts of the funnel. Now, once you submit, you get your PDF. This is your lead magnet, a document with about 20 pages. And he speaks about exactly his go-to-market program, right? The pillars that you need to have in place to grow in your business. And by the end of it, he includes in his last two sections is, if you want to implement these pillars, right, I gave you the solutions now briefly. If you want to implement on these and you don't know how to do so, here's my program. And then you click on it and you get redirected to the go-to-market program, which is the one that he sells for $8,000 plus. Same with the last page where he says, thank you. Again, if you're serious about growing, schedule a call. We can look further, right? He funnels them back. And the interesting thing is, he uses a different landing page to the one that we covered, right? This is his go-to-market landing page. After you fill out the lead magnet, you're redirected to just a shorter landing page where he has a more in-depth video on exactly how he's going to help you achieve that and on each particular pillar to just build that, social proof, just resonate with you more. And then if you're warm enough, you then click on and get onto the landing page and fill everything out. So again, this is his entire system, from his offer stack to his content, how he's able to crush it, and yeah, how he was able to just dominate the info side of things in the SaaS niche with offers that are not commonly seen in other areas where he's charging $99,000 per year. And yeah, I hope you guys found this valuable. For you SaaS entrepreneurs with a personal brand, this is an OG to look up to who's currently crushing it. And yeah,